Greetings, Eric Backer, the naturopath. Thanks for coming back and checking out my channel. Wow, it's been a wild 4 or 5 weeks for all of us here in New Zealand with this COVID thing. I'm sure you all out there have been, doing different things. So, if you look at my spectacles close up, you might see some specks of paint on them because I've been painting. So make good use of your time. That's the thing. It's just easy to sit there and let time get swallowed up by nothingness, doing. It's good to relax, but it's also good to get stuff done. It's really important, I reckon. Now, lots of topics to cover as usual. Many questions. Here's a classic question I get asked all the time. Help. Nobody believes I've got a Candida problem. They say that I've got something wrong inside my head, that I'm imagining everything. Or a classic one is you've got irritable bowel syndrome. Or they just fudge it away as something else. Now this won't just be medical practitioners. This can often be naturopathic practitioners. It can be chiropractors. It can be many different allied complementary healthcare health professionals can also say this, that you haven't got a Candida problem. You've got lactose intolerance, or you've got a food allergy, or you've got something else. So this is why I set up yeastinfection.org. This is why I wrote Candida Crusher, for exactly this reason. Because when I had Candida a long time ago in my 20s, well, I was told to go to the psychiatric people, that the problem, I had a problem, but it was a mental health problem. But and that just infuriated me, like it will infuriate you out there as well. So let's explore the irritable bowel syndrome. It's a typical one that many people have come to my room saying, I've been diagnosed with having IBS. As I've written in Candida Crusher, it's a garbage can diagnosis. It doesn't mean anything. It's where doctors put people in, so hopefully someone else will take that can of crap away and not deal with it, So many physicians are like that, but also many natural practitioners are like that. So how do you know if you've got Candida? Well, a really good thing for you to do is to check out yeastinfection.org and look at the signs and symptoms. I've written so many pages on that site, particularly, the male pattern, the female pattern, the pediatric or the children's pattern. So things to look out for, and I want you to go to that site and have a good look. And also, I really want you to do the test, the Candida Crusher test, the online test. We were the first people to put a good test online regarding that. So I've got a quiz. Yeastinfection.org will have that quiz. You need to do that quiz if you haven't done it to see how high your score is. Right? Now, if I would have completed that test in my 20s, I would have got 100% because I had nearly all of those symptoms. Right? So be very careful with people telling you that you haven't got Candida when you have strong sugar cravings, when you've got gas, when you've got bloating and itchy skin and brain fog and all of these incredible symptoms that Candida can produce. All right? There are many clever people out there who know about Candida. I'm not one of the clever ones. I've just sort of self-taught, but there are many sharp people out there now, medical professionals, who know that Candida albicans and Candida tropicalis and all these species can cause massive problems for people. If you go to Google and you type in Candida yeast infection studies, you'll find thousands of studies now that support my work. So it's scientific. It's not sort of, backyard bogan kind of, hillbilly medicine kind of stuff that we're preaching here. I mean, this is real stuff. Liz Lipsky. Dr. Liz Lipsky is somebody I hold in very high regard, and she wrote a book called Digestive Wellness. And she said there are 4 main reasons why people will have big gut issues and they need to be explored. And the first one, she said, was infectious problem, yeast infection, parasite problem, bacterial overgrowth. This is the top of the tree. It's the first thing that needs checking out. So if you really think you've got a Candida problem, and if you don't get a test done, well, it's probably like getting in a space rocket and shooting up to go to the moon, but you've got no steering wheel or map or compass, and you'll end up in Jupiter or Uranus or something, you know what I mean? Yeah, anyway, I'm going off track again. But I think you get my point. If you really think you've got a problem, you need to go to someone who can test for you, okay? That was not something that was possible for me a long time ago, back in the 80s. Testing was in its infancy. You go to a naturopath or a doctor and you talk about Candida, well, as I said, the first person you went to was the shrink, the psychiatric person. So because tests weren't really there. Tests are there now. Studies validate these tests. There are people out there who can nail this thing for you and say yes or no. So remember, the first thing is there's infectious problem. The second one, as Dr. Lipsky says, is likely to be, if it's still an issue, particularly bloating and gas, could be lactose. Okay, lactose intolerance. But the chances of having a lactose problem intolerance compared to having a candida problem, well, it's quite slim. Lactose intolerance is a minority, whereas many more people have candida problems. And the other one, of course, number 3, is going to be food intolerances and food allergies. We've spoken many times about this on this channel. Right? Big difference between intolerances and allergies. Okay, a zebra is not a lion. They're 2 different animals. So you've got to look at the intolerance and the allergies being 2 separate animals. Again, check out my videos on that. Right? There are 1,800 videos soon on this channel. And then the 4th one, which nobody talked about until I wrote a lot about it in 2013, was stress. Stress is one of the key things that messes people's guts up. All right? Mess up their gut, mess up their skin, mess up their brain, mess up many parts of their body. Again, I've written a whole bunch of stuff on this and spoken a bunch about it. So think about those 4 key drivers that often push people into an issue, right? But what did I say? The number 1? The infection, the overgrowth, the imbalance. That's the key thing, all right? Lots of people haven't got sufficient training in this area either. But even if you just go to a physician or alternative, professional and say, look, I want this test. I really want this test to determine if I got candida. Do the test properly. It's going to be a stool test. Don't come to me. I'm finished. I'm painting now and I'm doing other stuff. All right. So my clinic's done. But I'm here to teach you guys that this is the way to go. Testing will validate what's going on. Okay. It'll validate. And it sets you up having a benchmark. You've got a standard. Okay. And then you work off that standard. Once the test says, yes, you've got a problem, you put a protocol into place, which we talk about on this channel all the time, protocols. Right? You follow the protocol, you retest. And then if you've done things right, there'll be a big improvement, not just in the results, but also in your body. All right? That's science. And that's what I'm interested in. Have you seen the paint splatters? I'm like, no, actually they're not too bad. Catch up in the next video. Look at my hair. I need a haircut, but everyone's closed. All the barbers are closed at the moment. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next video.